All right, we're on our mat. Let the shoulders melt away from your ears. Let's take a nice deep inhale through the nose. Open the mouth, sigh it out. 2 more times, just like that. The last one. Let your breath return to its natural rhythm. And if you feel comfortable closing the eyes, I invite you to do so. As the inhales enter the body, let them swirl throughout, noticing any points of tension, restriction. And as you exhale, allowing that sensation to shift or find space, movement perhaps. Allow the awareness move from the tiptoes and the fingertips, crown of the head, work its way from those extremities in towards the body, in towards the throat, the heart, the stomach, the pelvis. As you make your way into the body. Breathe into the body, into those sensations. No need to fix it, just feel it. Let your awareness rest there. And for a few more breaths, allow your perspective to shift as you maintain awareness through the body. Perhaps your perspective was originally around a pain or a fear. Now we can, in this point of awareness, shift that perspective to offering more space, to allow release, to offer some love. Allowing that perspective to shift, morph, change, alter, whatever the case may be for you. And after a couple more rounds of breath, make note of what's needed in this moment to allow that perspective to shift and sit with it for longer than this moment. Perhaps that perspective shift to occur throughout the class while we stay in the moment. And we'll check in at the end of practice to see how that went. When you're ready, blinking, the eyes open, coming back into the space. And we'll inhale the fingertips up to the sky. Exhale, press those palms together, lower to heart center. We'll inhale and reach. Exhale, palms press to heart center. One more time, inhale and reach. And exhale to heart center. And we'll inhale as the left hand is in front of us, right hand behind. We find length through the spine. And as we exhale, we twist. Exhale, come back to center. The right hand is in front of us, left hand behind. That length through the spine. Exhale to twist. I don't know if you all can see all of the blankets behind me and my puppy camouflaged in there. My son before school had to make a fort for her. She's all cozied in there. We'll exhale, come back to center. Let's inhale those fingertips wide to wings, gazing up. And as we exhale, hands press into the heart space. We'll inhale and reach. Exhale, palms come together. We'll inhale one more time. Spread those wings wide. Feel the space beyond the body. Exhale and come into center. Set an intention for our practice, letting it resonate into the heart space. As we reach and find uplifting, as we ground into the space, as we find balance here, as we find how our energy flows just beyond the grips, the fingertips of the body, and how we come back into this space, into ourselves. Consider that as we set our intention. And then we'll lower the hands to the knees, finding our Sufi rolls, warming up that spine. We'll shift directions. Back to our stillness, our neutral spine. The right fingertips reach long to the side. As we inhale, the left fingertips reach up and over. Let's reach those left fingertips long out in front as they move over to the left side. The right fingertips reach up to the ceiling and then over. And then let those fingertips scoop out in front. As we sit in our neutral spine, the right hand will reach over the top of the head with gentle traction, moving that right ear towards the right shoulder. So we'll exhale, release. Change those hands. Now the left hand reaches across the top of the head. Feeling that stretch down the neck. And then we'll release, shifting our weight onto all fours to tabletop. Finding that neutral spine from tail to crown. We'll inhale, drop the belly, lift the gaze. Exhale, round the spine. So as we flow through cat and cow with your breath, feeling the stretch along the back side of the body. As we drop the belly, feeling the stretch along that front side. And after your next exhale, we'll return to neutral spine, our tabletop position, and we'll tuck those toes, send the hips high, downward facing dog. Take a few breaths here, pedal out those feet as we find our first down dog of the practice. Maybe gentle circles through the ankle, the knees, the hips, through the neck. And we'll find stillness through our down dog as we exhale, intending the heels towards the mat. We'll inhale, look between the hands, walk, step, or hop to the top of the mat, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Here, let's take a nice deep bend in the knees, let the belly rest on the thighs. Bring opposite hand to opposite elbows. The head is heavy, the neck is long. Perhaps you want to bring a gentle sway into your forward folds. Here in this gentle inversion, that change of perspective, noticing here what's coming up. We'll bring the hands to the hips, nice deep bend in the knees as we rise up. We'll inhale those fingertips up to the sky and exhale to heart center. We'll inhale and reach. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, plant those hands, step back into plank pose. The knees can be lifted or on the mat. So we engage the core here. And as we exhale, we'll lower through, finding either baby cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale to downward facing dog. We'll inhale the right foot up to the sky, and as we exhale, walk it forward between the hands, helping it along the way. That back knee can be lowered or lifted as we find low lunge. And we'll exhale, framing that front foot, stepping back into plank. Yogi's choice to flow through, finding your back bend, or going directly to downward facing dog. We'll meet in down dog. We'll inhale the left foot up to the sky as we step it forward between the hands, finding low lunge on the opposite side. That back knee can be lifted or on the mat as we inhale the fingertips up to the sky. And exhale, frame that front foot. We're in plank pose. An option to flow through, finding your back bend. And then we'll exhale to downward facing dog. We'll inhale, look between the hands, walk, step, or hop to the top of the mat, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, nice strong legs. We'll reach up and rise. And exhale, hands press together and lower the heart center. Inhale and reach. Just 1 second, folks. We'll exhale, forward folds. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant those hands, step back into plank pose. We'll lower through, finding our back bend. And then we'll exhale to downward facing dog. One more round through, we'll inhale, look to the hands, walk, step, or hop to the top of the mat, halfway lift. Exhale, forward folds. Inhale, nice strong legs, we'll reach up and rise. And exhale, press those palms together and lower to heart center. Inhale and reach. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, plant those hands, step back into plank. As we take a deep inhale and exhale, finding your back bend. And then exhale to downward facing dog. Take a nice deep inhale through the nose here. Exhale, sigh it out. Again, inhale through the nose. Exhale out the mouth. One more time. We'll inhale, lift the right foot off the mat. Step it forward between those hands. This time I'll encourage you to lower the back knee. We'll stay in this low lunge for a few breaths. The hands can frame that front foot or rest on the thigh, reach to the sky. Notice that stretch through the front of the left hip. Let the shoulders fall away from the ears. Wherever those hands are, we'll exhale and lower, framing that front foot. Let's straighten that front leg, our half splits, feeling the stretch through the right hamstring. Those right toes point up to the sky. Some bending back into the right knee. Option to keep that back knee on the mat or tuck those toes, lift the knee. Wherever you're at, that left hand is going to press into the mat and we'll reach the right fingertips up to the sky. And as we exhale, the right hand will lower to the mat. We'll step back to downward facing dog. Take a few breaths here in down dog or in child's pose. And if you're in child's pose, we'll walk the hands back towards the body, pressing into downward facing dog. We'll inhale the left foot up to the sky. As we exhale, step it forward between the hands. Find low lunge. On the opposite side, that back knee is on the mat. Breathing into that right hip. And we'll exhale, lower the hands, framing the front foot. We'll straighten that leg. The left toes point up. So we'll bend into that front knee. Let the hands frame the front foot. So option 2, keep the back knee on the mat or tuck those toes, lift the back knee. The right hand will press into the mat. This time the left fingertips reach to the sky. We'll exhale, press both hands down into the mat. We'll step back into downward facing dog. Let's walk the hands to the back of the mat so they meet the feet in our forward fold. We'll take a nice deep bend in the knees. We're sitting in a chair. As we inhale, we'll lift the chest, lift the arms, and look at that, chair pose. Check in with your feet. You want to be able to see your toes beyond the knees. So really sit back into your chair. And we'll inhale and rise up. Whew. Give a nice shake of those extra long coat sleeves. Awesome. Planting both feet into the mat, we'll bring the weight into that left foot. Excuse me, as we find tree pose, the right foot presses into the ankle, the calf, the inner thigh. Once you have that strong foundation through the foot, you can let the arms reach, perhaps at heart center, perhaps really feeling that stretch through the neck, the shoulders, the fingertips reach to the ground, perhaps up to the sky. Always a chance to explore that posture, those options. Let's inhale, draw that knee into the chest. And as we exhale, we're going to step that foot forward, finding high lunge. So that back heel's lifted off the mat. We have that deep bend in the front knee. We'll inhale, fingertips up to the sky. On your next inhale, open the arms wide, finding warrior 2. So that front heel intersects the arch of the back foot and that nice deep bend in the front knee. The arms are wide to a T and we gaze over the front fingertips. Beautiful. As you exhale, the right forearm will find that right thigh. The left fingertips can reach straight up to the sky, or we can lead with the thumb. Arm reaches out in front. We open the chest, gazing under the armpit. That's another option. A third variation is to have the right hand press into the mat in our side angle. And we'll exhale, bring the left hand down to the mat. We're in our low lunge. Breathing here, pressing into the palms. We'll tuck those back toes. Take as many steps back as you need as you find downward facing dog. Give a nod and a shake of the head. Beautiful. Again, we'll bring the hands to the back of the mat. We're in our forward fold. Take a nice deep bend in those knees. As we inhale, we'll lift the chest. And those fingertips reach up to the sky. The biceps are just alongside the ears. And again, check in with those knees. Or I guess check in with the toes. Can you see the toes in front of or peeking out beyond the knees? Beautiful. We'll inhale and rise up, and then shake of those extra long coat sleeves. Maybe a shake of the legs too. We find weight in all four corners of the feet. Here in Tadasana or mountain pose. The weight comes into the right foot, and the left foot can meet the ankle, the calf, the inner thigh. This side may be different than the first side, just allowing that to be. Might be a little less or a little more wobbly as well. And once you have that strong foundation, you're feeling nice and secure, letting your arms, your branches reach to whichever variation feels best for you on this side. As you wobble, as you blow in the wind here in tree pose. And check in with the mind, the thoughts, the current perspective you have. Is it one of kindness? Is it one of love? How might you shift it if needed? We'll inhale, draw that knee forward into the chest for a nice quick hug. We'll take a big step or several steps forward with that left foot as we find high lunge on the opposite side. So that back heel is lifted. Let the shoulders move away from the ears. Lift the heart. On your next exhale, we'll move into warrior two. Might have to wiggle walk that front foot over so that the heel intersects the arch of the back foot. Upside down T. Feel the strength through the legs. And on your next exhale, the left forearm will find the left thigh. Right fingertips reach to the sky. Option one for our side angle. Or dropping that right hand, letting it lead as it circles around out in front, the thumb reaching to the sky, opening that chest, gazing under the armpit. Here's our second option for side angle, or letting the left palm press into the mat, a block. And we'll exhale, both hands lower down to the mat. We find our low lunge. And we'll step that foot backward as we find child's pose. So big toes touch, knees nice and wide, reaching those fingertips long. Feeling that nice stretch along the side body. Through the shoulders. Letting your forehead make contact with the mat. That centering, that grounding to the mat, to the earth. Bring awareness to your perspective here. How does that feeling of groundedness, of closeness to the earth, how does that affect your perspective, your sense of day? As we inhale, we'll walk the hands back towards the body. We'll draw the knees in towards one another. We'll sit back on the heels. And just notice how your hips feel in this, or sorry, how your knees feel in this posture. If you would prefer to have one leg long. We'll inhale, fingertips up to the sky. The right fingertips, we'll give a pat on the back between the shoulder blades. We'll bring the left arm down so that the fingertips, perhaps they will connect. Perhaps we'll use our shirt, or if we have a strap handy, can use that one end in each hand, but feeling that stretch through the right bicep. Awesome. We'll exhale and release. We'll press the palms into the mat and give a tap of the tops of the feet. And if you had one leg straight, you'll sit back and shift. So the other leg, is out long. Again, we'll inhale, fingertips up to the sky. This time the left hand gives us a pat on the back. And then we will lower that right hand, the thumbs pointing down to the earth. And those fingertips, perhaps they touch, perhaps you're using the shirt or another strap or a blanket if you have a fort built on your couch for your pup. And let that heart shine forward. Feel that nice stretch through the left tricep and into the right shoulder, right side of the neck as well. We'll exhale, bring the palms down to the mat, tap those feet out. And then we will shift onto our seat, send the legs out long. Flex the feet so the toes are pointing up to the sky. We'll engage the quads so the kneecaps lift and come towards the body. Perhaps your heels are floating off the mat. We'll inhale those fingertips up to the sky, Dandasana or staff pose. Engage the core here. Everything is activated. This can often seem like oh, I'm just sitting in an L posture, when actually the legs are engaged. Mine are shaking right now. The core is engaged. The arms, the fingertips are activated. We'll exhale and release. Let the hands find the thighs, and then we'll walk them towards the feet to your point of slight discomfort. No pain in the stretch that we'll feel along the back of the legs, but just that slight twinge. Twinge, I don't like that. I don't want your hamstrings to get hurt. You know what I mean? Just that slight sensation. Really round the spine, sink into this pose, let the head be heavy. This can be a really great restorative pose. If you have blocks or pillows, you can rest your head and really sit in this posture for quite some time. Awesome. As we inhale, we'll rise up. Let's bend the knees, press the soles of the feet into the mat. Give a windshield wiper back and forth of the knees. We'll make our way onto our back. Draw the right shin into the chest. The left leg is long. We'll exhale and switch, drawing the left knee in. Drawing both knees in, giving yourself a big hug. Whether the knees are drawn into the chest or towards the armpits, just noticing that compression in the hips. We'll release the feet down to the mat. So I will say it is 12:50, but I can't, so if you need to go, absolutely. I'm going to bring us into a Shavasana, a quick one. I'll have you out of here in 2 minutes. But allow the practice to sink into the body here in Shavasana. The body melt into the mat. And again, bring that awareness to your intention that you set at the top of practice. Perhaps that intention was related to perspective. Notice as we're here in the body what comes up for you. So I encourage you to stay in Shavasana even longer. If you have lunch to eat and things to be, meetings to be at for 1 o'clock, and we need to wiggle those toes, those fingers, we'll do that. Doing a nice stretch overhead. Taking your time to roll to one side. Then pressing into those palms, coming up to a seat. Bringing the hands together at heart center. Thank you so much for sharing your practice today. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. wishing you all of the best on this sunny day. Namaste.